Did you know that the right brand name can actually make your jewelry feel more expensive before anyone even sees the product? It's true. And if you're trying to start a jewelry brand, choosing the perfect name is one of the highest leverage decisions you'll make. Hey everyone, I'm June with Branvas, and today I'm sharing over 60 statement jewelry brand name ideas across 4 different styles, plus a proven framework for picking the one that actually sells. Whether you're launching your first store or rebranding something that isn't clicking, this video has you covered. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start at the top. Luxury. When you're building a luxury statement jewelry brand, your name needs to do some heavy lifting before a customer ever touches a product. It needs to sound exclusive. It needs to feel expensive. And here's a fun fact. Research shows that longer brand names, think 3 or more syllables, are actually perceived as more luxurious. So keep that in mind. Let me walk you through some of my favorites. First up, Orele. That comes from the Latin word for golden, and it immediately makes you think of gilded heirloom quality pieces. Then there's Viridia, which blends verdant and diamond. It sounds lush, gem-heavy, and high value. Solari is inspired by the sun, so it communicates brilliance and radiance. Marchese is the Italian word for marquess. It literally implies noble lineage and aristocratic jewelry. A few more standouts. Elysian Gems pulls from Greek mythology, referencing a paradise for heroes. Celestia is derived from celestial, so think stars and cosmos crafted into bold designs. Opulentia is literally the Latin word for wealth and opulence. It's unapologetic, and I kind of love that. Seraphine comes from seraphim, the highest order of angels, suggesting divine craftsmanship. And then there's Luxara, which blends luxury with a refined suffix that just sounds expensive. You've also got names like Crestoria, a blend of crest, and Historia for legacy pieces. Valerius, a Roman name meaning strength. Rylon, which is a completely invented name but sounds like a modern dynasty, Dominia for powerful and authoritative designs, and Octavia, which is both classic and feminine. Every single one of these is designed to make your brand feel like it belongs in a glass case. Pick one that matches the energy you want your jewelry to carry. Okay, now let's flip the script. Minimalist statement jewelry is kind of a beautiful contradiction, right? It's bold in form but simple in execution. And the names in this category need to reflect that same tension. Clean, sharp, confident. Here's the thing about minimalist names. They tend to be shorter and easier to pronounce, and that actually works in your favor. There's something called the fluency effect in consumer psychology, which basically means the easier a name is to say, the more positively people feel about the brand. So let's run through some ideas. Vexel plays on vector and pixel, suggesting geometric precision. Stil is the Dutch word for style, and it's close to still, so you get this quiet, sculptural vibe. Rune references ancient letter forms, perfect for a brand that creates modern talismans. Axia comes from axis, symmetry, balance, foundational geometry. And flect simply means to bend or curve, which is elegant in its simplicity. Some others I love. Trove is a strong, simple word for a collection of valued objects. Lume is a play on lumen, the unit of light, suggesting pieces that interact beautifully with light. Kern is actually a typography term for the space between letters. It implies precision and intentional design. Alba is Latin for white, evoking purity and a clean canvas. And node means a point of connection, implying a central piece that ties your whole look together. You've also got ossa, Latin for bones, which speaks to essential structure. Cygnus is a constellation that feels celestial without being over the top. Kine comes from kinetic, implying movement. Motive suggests a focused artistic purpose. And clad is a strong verb, meaning to be clothed. Like your jewelry is an essential layer of style. If you're going for that clean, architectural feel, these names will set the tone perfectly. All right, now let's talk about modern and trendy. These are the names that feel fresh, a little edgy, and, this is key, highly shareable on social media. If your target customer lives on TikTok and Instagram, this category is for you. One thing that works really well in this space is invented or non-obvious names. They spark curiosity, people want to click, they want to know more, and that's exactly what you want when someone scrolls past your brand. So, here we go. Vibe is a phonetic spelling of vibe. It's all about capturing a mood that feels current and cool. Glow mode combines glow and mode, suggesting jewelry that's essential to a radiant look. Reverie means a daydream, which taps into those dreamy, ethereal aesthetics that absolutely dominate social platforms right now. Kinetic is a scientific term for energy and motion. It feels dynamic and fast. And Echo suggests a design that reverberates and gets noticed. A few more. Prism evokes the play of light and color, perfect for bold and colorful pieces. Coterie means an exclusive group with shared interests, so it makes your customers feel like insiders. Zephyr means a gentle breeze. It's a softer take on trendy. Nexta sounds like next, positioning you as a forward-thinking trendsetter. And Fuse implies a fusion of styles and materials, creating something brand new. You've also got Artifact, which reframes the concept for the modern era, Syntax from linguistics for a new visual language of self-expression, Axiom for a brand that sets the rules, Talus as a shortened take on Talisman, and Solstice, which marks a turning point. Great for a brand that moves with the culture. If you're building a statement jewelry brand for a digitally native audience, these names are built for the moment. Okay, so here's where it gets really beautiful. Romantic and elegant names are all about grace, poetry, and timeless enchantment. If your jewelry tells a love story or evokes that feeling of getting dressed up for a special evening, these names are going to resonate. Let me share some favorites. Fiora is from the Italian word for flower. It suggests delicate, blossoming designs that still make a bold statement. Sonnet is literally a form of poetry, implying lyrical, romantic pieces with a story to tell. Amourette is French for little love, and it just sounds like something you'd cherish forever. Evensong is the name for evening prayer, and it has this incredibly peaceful, melodic quality. Think jewelry for elegant nights out. Then there's Verlaine, inspired by the French poet known for his musical and evocative style. Belladonna means beautiful lady in Italian, and it's got this slightly mysterious allure that I think is really compelling. Wisteria, like the flowering vine, suggests designs that are both dramatic and romantic. And Chantilly, famous for its delicate lace, implies intricate craftsmanship. Rounding out this category, you've got Idyll, a short poem describing a perfect scene. Lace and Coin combines the delicate with the substantial. Giselle comes from the famous romantic ballet Pure Grace. Celine is French for solemn or formal. Very sophisticated. Calla, like the calla lily, has a sculptural elegance. Portia is from Shakespeare, associated with a strong and elegant heroine. And bijou is the French word for jewel, simple, classic, and universally precious. If your brand lives in that space of enchantment and femininity, one of these could be the perfect fit. Stick with me on this one, because having a big list of names is great. But knowing how to choose the right one, that's what actually matters. A great name isn't just a beautiful word, it's a strategic business asset. And at Branvas, we've developed a simple framework to help emerging brands make this decision. We call it the S.T.O.N.E framework. Here's how it works. S stands for style fit. Ask yourself, does the name's meaning and sound actually match your jewelry's aesthetic? If you make bold architectural pieces, a name like Axia feels way more aligned than something soft and romantic like Sonnet. The name and the product need to tell the same story. T is for test pronunciation. This is huge. Ask 5 people to read the name and say it out loud. If they stumble, that's a problem. Because if customers can't pronounce your name, they can't tell their friends about you, and they might struggle to find you online. That fluency effect I mentioned earlier? It really matters here. O is for originality check. Search your name on Google, Instagram, and Pinterest. If the results are already crowded with similar jewelry brands, you're going to have an uphill battle claiming visibility, and you might confuse potential customers. N stands for notable and memorable. Names with a built-in meaning or story tend to stick in people's minds. That story also becomes a powerful branding tool. It gives you something to talk about on your website, your packaging, your social content, and E is for expandable. Can the name grow with you? A name like Bold Beaded Necklaces traps you in a box. But something like Crestoria, that can expand into rings, earrings, bracelets, whatever direction your brand takes. Once you've run your top picks through the framework, here's a quick bonus tip. Throw your finalists into an Instagram Stories poll. Let your target audience weigh in. That real-world feedback is genuinely invaluable. All right, so you found a name you love, and it passed the S.T.O.N.E framework. Now comes the due diligence, because the last thing you want is to fall in love with a name and then discover you can't actually use it. Let me walk you through the checklist. Step 1. Check the .com domain. Head to a registrar like GoDaddy or Namecheap and search for it. Other extensions like .co or .shop exist, but .com is still the gold standard for e-commerce brands. If you can get it, get it. Step 2. Search for social media handles. You want to check Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, since those are the most important platforms for jewelry brands. Ideally, you want the exact same handle everywhere. Consistency builds trust and makes you easier to find. Step 3. Do a thorough Google search. Put your name in quotes like Orale Jewelry and see what comes up. If other businesses in jewelry or fashion are already using it, that could create confusion or even legal issues down the road. Step 4. Search the USPTO trademark database. That's the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office's system called TESS. Look for both the exact name and close variations. This tells you if the name is already federally registered. Step 5. Check your state's Secretary of State database to see if anyone has registered the name as an LLC or corporation. And Step 6. If you plan to sell internationally, run a search through the WIPO Global Brand Database for broader trademark coverage. Now, quick disclaimer, this checklist is for informational purposes. It's not a substitute for legal advice. If you're serious about protecting your brand, work with a qualified trademark attorney. But this process will save you a ton of headaches up front. So, you've got a powerful name. That's honestly a huge first step. But here's where a lot of aspiring jewelry brand owners get stuck, turning that name into an actual business with real products. You start thinking about sourcing, packaging, inventory, shipping, and it can feel overwhelming fast. This is exactly the problem Branvas was built to solve. Branvas is a private label brand-as-a-service platform. You bring the vision and the brand name, and Branvas handles the entire back end. That means product sourcing from a curated catalog of on-trend statement jewelry ready to be branded as your own. It means custom branding and packaging with your logo, so your customers get a premium unboxing experience. And it means fulfillment, inventory management, and blind shipping directly to your customers, so they never see anyone's name but yours. If you've been wondering how to start a jewelry brand without holding inventory or managing a supply chain, this is your answer. Branvas helps you go from name to brand in weeks, not years. Head to branvas.com to explore how it works and see the full product catalog. The link is in the description. Here's your biggest takeaway. The right statement jewelry brand name sets the tone for everything that follows. So choose one that fits your style, passes the availability check, and has room to grow. If you're ready to turn that name into a real jewelry brand, head to branvas.com. The link is right below. If this video helped you, smash that like button, subscribe for more e-commerce tips, and drop a comment telling me which name from today's list was your favorite. I'm June. See you in the next one.